In our last update, which was up there on Friday, we still wanted to see higher prices on Bitcoin. However, we were aware of the fact that we could get a drop into our support, which was between $86,000 to $87,000 before seeing another leg to the upside. Now, if we go over to the charts, we did indeed get that drop on Friday, which did happen, by the way, from our resistance at $94,000 that we shared in multiple updates. So once again, a very good resistance, a drop. But for now, our support did get front on, and today Bitcoin did see a bounce to the upside and a bit of sideways price action. So with that said, today I did want to film a quick update because tomorrow we have the FOMC, and if you remember my initial plan, I had opened along from $84,000 and I wanted to see a move up and the high formed into the FOMC. So if you look at the date below, Wednesday the 10th of December, this is when I wanted to see the high form. However, if we go over to the charts, at this point, it just doesn't look like we will form a high into the FOMC. So of course, it made sense for me to update you on this plan. Now, very quickly, if anyone is new, a quick recap on what we did. Once again, last week, we did open a long position from $84,000. So we had the support. This is when I wanted to search for lows. So look for long position. I took my long, put a hard stop loss at the lows. The next day, we got a very nice move to the upside. I closed the rest of my short position that I had opened from $94,000 and also implemented a take profit one on my long position. After this, I didn't do much as outlined on Friday. I just wanted to wait and see if we could get a drop to my support in order to average up on my long position. On Sunday as well, we didn't do a live stream because not much had changed since Friday. I still wanted to remain long and chill and look for higher prices. My support below was still the same. However, I did take a very quick short position. As you can see on my chart, this was the only trade that I took. Shorted up there, covered down here for very nice profits on the short. And what was the logic behind it? Well, it was the fractal that we shared on Friday. If you look at it, you can see that after this drop, we did have a quick scam pump. So strong pump, strong dump. So I just combined this strong pump with the fractal. And on top of that, we did have the CME gap way below at $89,100. So combining these two elements, this is why I took this very simple short position, in my opinion, for very nice profits, while I remain long and chill on the higher time frames. So with that said, back to the charts. Since we have the FOMC tomorrow, the timing will be a bit different. So I do want to outline one new level to the upside. Now, the first thing that we have to note is that, of course, since price is going sideways and my support still hasn't been tapped, ideally for myself, I would like to see a drop to the downside into our support during the news or maybe after the news, it doesn't really matter. But tomorrow I would like to see a drop, okay, during the news possibly to form a very nice low and then see a reversal to the upside. If we get this, of course, personally, I will be interested in averaging up on my long position that I have opened from $84,000. If we don't get it, I don't really care because if we just move higher, then I still have a part of my long open from down there. However, of course, if we drop, then I will be interested in averaging up to see another move higher. Now, with that said, as mentioned, since the timing is a bit different to the upside, of course, still be aware of $99,000. However, there is one more level that I want you to be aware of. That would be if we stay on the 12-hour chart and go over to Binance, we do have a 12-hour imbalance up there. So let's go back over to Bybit, take the open of this candle. As you can see, we do have a very nice order block as well. And if you go on the lower time frames, we do still have this very ugly wick that could get recovered. So it could fully get recovered. It could just be around the midpoint. If you want, you could take an area which would go from 95.2 to 96.3 and just extend it to the right. And this should be a resistance. For myself, I am fine with keeping this level and I will just monitor the reaction around it. Now with this new level outlined, we can be looking at a bit of a different scenario, which would be that instead of getting a move towards $99,000, which was my initial plan if you remember, we will get a job tomorrow into the FOMC, or maybe don't get a job, but ideally, of course, we form a low into the FOMC, then get a move up into $95,500. And from there, of course, if we have a nice reaction, personally, I will be looking for a nice reversal to the downside. On top of this, this scenario does line up very well with the fractal that we shared on Friday. If I add it on my chart and put it over the price action, as you can see, this would line up very well, a deviation above these highs to then see a reversal to the downside. So the fractal, the imbalance on Binance, the timing as well to me is very important. I will be very interested in monitoring the reaction around this level. Once again, if we have a good reaction, I will open a short position, because remember, my higher time frame bias is that we will see a much bigger reversal to the downside and a break back below this low, but also a break back below $74,000. So with that said, that was mainly it for this update. A very simple one, so let's do a quick recap. Tomorrow we have the FOMC and price has not moved up into it. So ideally, personally, I would like to see a drop tomorrow, or it could be after that, doesn't really matter, but see a drop around the news into support to form a very nice low, and then see a move back up with the first target being $95,500. Okay, look at this as an area. It could be just a bit higher, but you get the point. Around this level is a very nice level. If we get a reaction, then personally, I will be looking for short positions for a reversal to the downside. And of course, if we break above it, then personally, my next target does remain the same around $99,000. If we get the break and the move higher, of course, I will film a new update to talk more about the resistances up here. However, if we get a rejection, I mean, still, I will film a new update, but at this point, you will be understanding what's happening. We got the fake out above the range highs after the news, a very nice bull trap, and then a reversal lower. So with that said, that was mainly it for this update. Once again, for myself, I remain long and chill. No trading today. We have big news tomorrow. Anyways, we don't have any level around here. To the downside, I am still interested in around $86,700 towards $87,300. To the upside, first target and resistance will be $95,500. If you break above this, I will be looking up towards around $99,000. And finally, one last time, if we can get a drop into the FOMC, that could offer us a very nice low, with the first target being $95,500, which could, of course, offer a very nice short position. So with that said, as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.